G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you're having a fantastic day. With that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by user No Drama Anon, titled, Would I be the asshole if I left my fiancé destitute? I might not be in the right state of mind, but I had to get this off my chest. 2 days ago, I came back from basketball a little early. I overheard my fiancée Jay tell her friend that she is settling for me. This friend just got out of a relationship. I don't know what they were talking about before, but I just heard Jay saying that after all the assholes she dated, settling for me will be good for her. She then went on to describe my job and all the perks of being with me. Love is apparently not on the list. Hearing this kinda broke me. I just stood in place dumbfounded. I don't even think she loves me. For context, we live in a beach house. I bought it as a total gut job and renovated it myself, and I have several other properties that are all rented out. I work in property finance from home and do house flips on the side. I'm satisfied with what I've accomplished so far in my life. All of this was worth mentioning for Jay, but not how much I loved her, how much time we spent together, not how I tried to be supportive of her goals and ambitions, how she wanted for nothing. I'm not going to lie, I was in a bad place. Maybe still am. I spent all of last night going through her messages. I knew her password, I just never looked. Well, it's a pretty common thing for her to say. Pretty much all of her friends know what's up. Jay wants a nice, normal guy after all the assholes that she dated. She wants a drama-free life where she'll be taken care of. Every time I read what she really thought about me, it was like another needle was being jammed in my heart. My first reaction was to yell at her and confront her about it. My second reaction was to make her suffer like I am. My dear Jay, the love of my life, I thought, doesn't work right now. She quit to be a real estate agent. I don't know, maybe she wanted to learn more about real estate. Maybe she thought her looks would get her by. She doesn't work right now. 0. She also lives in my house. She decorated it and certainly put her touches on everything, but my name is on the title. Just mine. Her car is technically mine too. She didn't qualify for financing on her own, and she can just have a Beamer, so I co-signed it. I can probably make a case that that's my car. We don't have joint accounts. Thank the Almighty himself because she did ask. I pay her cards right now. I just want to show her the texts, throw her shit in garbage bags, and put her out on the street. Would I be the asshole if I did that? No, not at all. I feel like you're very much justified for doing that, OP, and I'm surprised you haven't already. Though I can understand why you're hesitant and why you're reaching out to neutral third parties for, some guidance on this. She's made it clear that being with you is more than a means to an end, and I think that's enough justification for you to separate and just get rid of her from your life because she doesn't value you like a partner should. So you would not be the asshole if you did it, OP. In the comments, Status Pattern 7539 says, Not the asshole. You aren't leaving her destitute. Think of it as you leaving her with exactly what she brought into the relationship. You are not married, you don't have kids, you saw love, and she saw a piggy bank. She didn't quit her job to try something else. That was her excuse so that she could get you to support her jobless ass. No Scarcity says, Nope, not the asshole. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Fortunately, you found out before you became even more entangled or married. It seriously sucks, and it'll probably be a while before you can throw her out. You'll probably have to evict her. A BMW? Really? She's got expensive taste, huh? Well, guess who shouldn't settle? You, dude. You can do a whole lot better, and I seriously doubt that she can. I wish I could give more than one upvote. I have been with assholes before. You know what my reaction to my beautiful, smart, loving, kind partner was? Wow, I hope this human being could love me as much as I love him. And he does. Oh, and his family is better off than mine. That couldn't mean less to me. Not the arsehole, OP. That beer needs to learn what love is. Stability is important, a meal ticket is not. Right? OP should ask himself if his partner would stay if he lost everything. Would she step up and support if he decided to go back to school to fulfill a dream or change careers? That's what a true partner would do, and it doesn't sound like she would. He should ask her that question, seriously, and gauge her reaction. I know one thing, and that I loved my late husband beyond anything. He traveled for work, Monday to Friday, and every time he pulled out of the driveway Monday mornings, I got teary. The biggest disagreement we ever had was me telling him that I would give up the big house in the country and live in a trailer if I could just wake up to him every morning. 9 months later, he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I'd gladly have stayed right by his side, even if he was severely disabled for life, if I could just have him in my life for the rest of mine. He passed 3 months after diagnosis, and I've missed him every day since. Is she that person? Because life does happen. Edit. Thank you for all the kind comments and wishes, and the award. It's been almost 30 years. Always miss him. As bittersweet as it can be, I promise I wouldn't trade the heartache, because it's the best reminder of how blessed I was and continue to be. To all of you, find someone who loves you that deeply. There is no fancy wedding or car or house that means anything more, will keep you warm at night, or hold you at your worst. Settle on that kind of love. And back up to the post that OP wrote. Edit. Holy shit, I did not expect so many responses. Thank you everyone for your advice and kind words. I will talk to Jay sometime over the weekend. I think she picked up that something was up. I didn't call her from work like I usually do, and the last couple of nights I made an excuse that I was beat and went to bed pretty early. I'll try to read as many replies and provide more information, but I wanted to clarify a couple of things. Regardless of how shitty I feel, I didn't like people calling Jay nasty names. It's partly my fault. I didn't give enough detail. Before quitting, she had a decent enough job. She's not good at managing money at all, but she would buy stuff for the house or gifts for me on special occasions. I never thought of her as a gold digger. She talked to me about quitting and trying to be a real estate agent. She told me she liked the freedom of the profession, and I tried to be supportive. Secondly, I don't think I misunderstood her meaning. Maybe she didn't mean it as a negative, but the messages were crystal clear. She settled for me. Update. Hi everyone. Thank you to everyone for your advice and kind words. Here is the update. I talked to Jay. I told her how I overheard her talking, how she is settling for me. I told her how that felt and what kind of mood I was in after. She had tears rolling down her face as I was telling her how I felt. She didn't say anything for a bit. She then just said, "I'm sorry." It was true when we started dating. She just heard from mutual friends that I was great, and she thought that she would give me a chance. She said that in the beginning it was about feeling safe and feeling like she could be supported and loved. In the beginning, it was just being with someone who had their shit together and would be good for her. Eventually, she fell in love. She loved me dearly. This didn't make me feel better. I then told her about the text messages. This is when she got angry. I was an asshole for going through her messages. Violation of privacy, betrayal of trust. How dare I? I didn't set out to get her password. She's just extremely careless with it. She hits remember password on everything. When she types it out, she hits show password first. If you happen to be glancing at the screen, you'd know what it was. That is how I found out. I've never thought to use it until that day. Eventually, after going on about reading her messages, she stopped and was sobbing for a minute. Finally, she just goes, "What do you want me to say? I can't help how I feel." I wasn't the type that she'd go for before. She's still attracted to those types of guys. She's just older now and knows better. That is why she's settled with me. She loves me and wants to spend the rest of her life with me. That doesn't work for me. I told her we had different ideas about what a relationship, especially marriage, were. The trust is broken for the both of us. I went through her messages and it confirmed that she did settle for me even though I'm not her type. This is where we go our separate ways. We agreed eventually that she stay with one of her friends. I'll move all of her stuff to the spare bedroom. When she finds a place, I'll help her move. She can keep the car. I was just being an arsehole about leaving her destitute. She was crying from the moment that we started talking to the moment we went into separate rooms. It wasn't easy seeing her like that. I wanted to go to her and hold her, but it had been done. When I closed the door to my room, that's when all the emotions washed over me. I was bawling the whole time. The sheets still smelled like her, and I either couldn't or didn't want to change them just then. I feel shitty, and I won't be okay for a while. But I am pretty certain that I did the right thing. I read a lot of comments on the old post, and it shocked me. Truly, I was a little taken aback with how many comments I saw from women that say they did the same thing. They settled for their current significant other after going through a bunch of guys that were more their type. To me, that's super effed. Like, if your partner knows you and you're both cool with it, fine, I guess. Live your life. But to me, that's gross. If you settle with your significant other for safety, comfort, financial calculus, that's what an arranged marriage is. You want the benefits of an arranged marriage without any of the obligations of one. If you can pull it off, like, more power to you, but that's not something that interests me at all. I also read a whole bunch of get an ironclad prenup. I understand the thinking, but I don't want to do that. Maybe I'm too quixotic and old-fashioned, but starting a lifelong commitment with a plan on how to end it doesn't seem right. I guess it's something that I'll have to pay attention to more going forward. Thank you again, everyone. If there are any updates to be had, I'll post again, but that's it. In the comments, Regular Switch 454 says, "Can she afford to keep the car?" And OK Zombie replies, "No." And OP will either have to continue paying for the car or have his credit score tank. Personally, I think he needs to return the car to the dealer and let Sis find her own transportation. You co-signed for the car, so your name is still on it. If you let her keep the car and she causes a really bad accident that is over insurance limits, you might get sued. That will put your home and business at risk. Have her refinance the car so it's completely in her name only. If she can't get a loan, sell it so that she can buy a car for cash. Don't put yourself at risk. Well, she probably can't though. That's why it's in his name. Storm Feathery says, even aside from the suspicious, hey, suddenly every woman is a gold digger who is settling thing happening, man, does the whole romantic plot of so many books and movies have a lot of shit to answer for. Guy meets girl, they fall madly in love, and maybe there are misunderstandings or obstacles, but it comes right in the end, because it is true love and they are meant to be. Real life ain't like that. Oh, I guess it can happen and that's great for those people, but some people think they found their true love and marry too young or quickly and stay too long. Other relationships, the couple falls in love more slowly and may never even have that huge passion, but are just quietly happy together, and that's just fine. Jolie Brunette says, I'm always thankful for my partner and our marriage, but wow, this made me so stupid thankful that I was one of the lucky ones. We've been through countless and very hard obstacles in the first 10 years, but damn, life is good even when you can't afford many extracurriculars or vacations for your kids. Being old-fashioned is definitely not marrying for love, Lamau. Right? Marriage up until the late 70s, early 80s was largely a financial union. Women couldn't get their own bank accounts, credit cards, sign leases, or get mortgages on their own. Women having a job that they could 100% support themselves on is also new, in the overall scheme of things. So the idea that you 100% marry for love is absolutely a modern thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he went kinda hard bashing the general public there, like, damn, let people divorce if they want to, OP, Jesus. I understand that you and your partner didn't work out, but that is no excuse to come swinging from the gates. What do? We're just bystanders, man. Like, damn, isn't it so crazy that you end up with someone that isn't completely your type, but you're compatible with them, and you can see the both of you just sticking it out and being a married couple? Ah yes, that's just an arranged marriage right there, but without the arranged marriage obligations. A very interesting take, I can see where he's coming from, but I don't particularly agree with it. Anyways, good on you, OP, for getting out of there. That obviously wasn't a relationship that was healthy for either of you, and I'm happy that you've made the best decision for yourself. Our next post is by user Rhode Island 123, titled, Am I the asshole for walking out of the airport when I saw my husband's mum standing there with her luggage? I, female 30, don't have the best relationship with my husband's mum. Since day one, she tried to make remarks and compare me to her. She then tried to get on my good side and started overly praising everything I do, and sometimes even copying me, like that one time when she literally dyed her hair purple just like mine, and when everyone pointed out how ridiculous she looked, she actually blamed me and accused me of trying to make a joke out of her. So, anyways, my husband and I took 2 weeks off work to go visit some places out of the country, tourism in other words. Thing is, I was the one who saved up for and arranged for the trip. My husband was responsible for booking the tickets. My husband's mum wanted to come along and threw temper tantrums when I said no. She called, texted, sent people to talk to me into letting her come, and even threatened to call the police and make some complaint to get us to stay if she can't come. My husband said that we should just take her, but I told him that he was wrong to tell her about the trip in the first place. He gave me an ultimatum, said he wouldn't go if she can't come, and I told him I'd gladly call his bluff, which made him take his words back and say, "Fine, I will tell her to stop it because we won't take her." Things then got quieter, suspiciously quieter. The day of the trip came, and we got to the airport at 2 p.m. My husband was walking ahead of me and was looking left and right like he was looking for someone. I asked him, but he didn't respond. He led me to the waiting area, and the first thing I saw was his mum standing there with her luggage. I froze in my spot. I felt a cold wave washing over me, and I was fuming inside. She and my husband were hugging, and that's when I quietly turned around and started walking towards the exit. My husband followed me while shouting at me to stop. He tried to stop me, but I told him off in the harshest way possible. He tried to say that I was overreacting and that his mum was there anyway and I should let it go and not mess the trip up for us. I told him that he and his mum could still go and that I was going home. I went home and sobbed into my dog's fur for several minutes. It turns out he booked her a ticket without me knowing. An hour later, he came home yelling and raging about how pathetic and spiteful I was to walk out and go home and ruin the trip last minute. I told him he caused this to happen. He said that I was being so hard on his mum, it's ridiculous. I refused to fight anymore, but he kept on berating me, then called my family to tell them that the trip was cancelled and that it was because of me. My family said that I shouldn't have ruined it for myself and should have just sucked it up and done my best to enjoy. Did I really overreact? In the comments, Peanut Butter Toast says, I don't want to call the divorce card, but divorce. You told your boundaries, you said no, she crossed it. Your husband told you he would tell her no. He lied. He tried to pin you in a corner by not saying anything and bringing her anyways, and then got upset that you refused to be a part of his little trap, and then to berate you? He is not a good man. He needs to go. Not the asshole. OP replies, correct. I did say no, and in the nicest way, but she was having none of it. Seeing my husband giving into her tantrums made me feel weaker, but I still kept trying to hold that boundary even after he himself said he wouldn't unless she goes. It was stressful and very exhausting, and I really considered cancelling way earlier, but tried harder because I really wanted this trip. He chose his mother over you. It will never get better. Time to get a lawyer. And a big F you to anyone who told you to suck it up and make the best of it. This right here, I would divorce his ass. He lacks a backbone and the ability to stand by your side. Time to cut your losses and move on. OP replies, it really felt like he did, which hurt me beyond measures, but he constantly tells me that things aren't how I see them and that I should really give his mum a chance and open my heart to her. He did. He did choose his mother over you. I feel like you need to acknowledge that in writing because you seem to be dancing around what people are saying in your responses. Not the asshole. He gave you an ultimatum. No loving partner would ever put you in that position. He's a mummy's boy, and she's manipulative and toxic. You have every right to enjoy a holiday with your husband without them behaving like children. You did the right thing. The next right thing to do is leave. He doesn't respect you. OP replies, I didn't know he'd really take it this far and actually give an ultimatum. That shook me, and I'm not gonna lie, from the moment he gave this ultimatum, I really wanted to cancel. Cancel your marriage. It's a sham. He is already with another woman. His mother is his #1 girl. Not the asshole. Hubby lied to you and put his mother before you? I'd be looking to get out of that marriage. That would be a deal breaker for me. OP replies, "The thing is, he didn't even pay for anything, and I really wanted us to have some special time together as a couple, and was really looking forward to having this trip. So much that I worked more hours to be able to save for it." You're not the asshole, but your family is right. You should have went. You paid for everything. Your name is on everything. You could have easily went and enjoyed your 2-week vacation yourself while not letting them into your hotel rooms and not using your accommodations. Honestly, I'm with pretty much everyone I feel like here, OP, in saying that this marriage seems well and truly over. He really did screw you over hard with this. Thank God you've played hardball with her and just kept her at such a distance this entire time that you've been married to this guy, but imagine if you did give in this instance, how much further she would push it going into the future. That's not someone you want to be attached to. I applaud you for walking out of the airport and cutting your losses right there. It sucks to lose a holiday that you were supposed to enjoy, but maybe his stupid games and ultimatum is the final eye-opener that you need, OP. My judgment is not the asshole. Update. Hello. I don't know where to begin. It's been an absolute nightmare recently, and I feel like I was losing my sanity. So for more details about my situation, I have to admit that my husband's mum favors him over all his siblings. This affected his relationship with them and me as well. He's never seen an issue with how differently his mum treats him. It bothered me and made me feel uncomfortable. The whole dynamic made me feel uncomfortable. Going low contact has never ever been an option. Like, he has to see her or call her every single day. Most of his siblings don't talk to him, and I 100% believe it's because of his mum's favoritism, like I said. He does bear some blame for not seeing how wrong it is till this day. In many instances, I found myself making excuses for his behavior, even in my post. I did it spontaneously, and I don't know why, but I guess it's because of how much I love him and because I really, really wanted to be able to work things out without letting it affect our marriage. Regarding what happened with the trip, he tried to have a talk with me, and most of what he said came from a place of blame. Blame towards me. I just couldn't continue with the argument. I told him I needed space and that I would be going to stay with my sister for a while. He didn't take it well. He literally got up from the couch and opened the door, telling me to go right ahead. In that moment, and seeing how he was still not even anywhere near understanding what he has done, just made things perfectly clear to me. I just had pictured years and years of my life being lived like that, and I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't take any more of it, especially when he keeps focusing on being right every time. His mum can do no wrong. I'm always the aggressive, crazy, jealous, pathetic overreactor. All of these people's opinions, advice, and concerns were like a spark, like the wake-up call I really needed. Though I wish it didn't get this far, but what's done is done. Right now I'm staying with my sister. I brought my dog with me as well. He sent me his last message telling me that I'm choosing to end what we had together, but I believe it's the other way around, especially with how he keeps making his mum the victim in this situation. It's become clear now that we keep going in circles with no end in reach, and I'm just so exhausted and overwhelmed. I'm not mad at him and don't expect him to change, but at least I'm given options to decide what's best for me and my future, even if it's separation and divorce. A big thank you to those who reached out with resources I feel very, very lucky to have come across. I just wanted to give you an update since many of you asked for it. In the comments, Cadmium2093 says, "I'm sorry you were going through this, but I'm also so very, very, very proud of you. You were standing up for yourself, putting yourself first, looking into the future, and making sure that it will be what you want it to be. I wish you the best of luck. Give the doggo the biggest of hugs and lots of pets." Quote, "He sent me his last message telling me I'm the one choosing to end what we had together. Maybe if he says this enough times to himself, he'll actually start to believe it. I actually think he knows this is all on him, but he's too weak to do anything about it and is desperate to deflect the blame. I'm petty, so I just tell him to let me know where he and his mummy are registered, as I'd love to send them a wedding gift. The sad truth OP needs to accept is that he got the woman he cares about." That was my first thought. I've been in this position, loving someone who doesn't want to return it, nor even values it. It hurts so bad when you realize the truth, but you're better off in the long run. I always find it so strange that people act ridiculous, difficult, controlling, rude, uncompromising, stonewalling, etc., and they say, well, it's your doing. You're the one leaving. God, my ex during our breakup said, I decided our relationship was worth it, but you're deciding to walk away. And it still makes me so mad because, like, no shit, dude. You're the one that said and did some really effing hurtful stuff. No shit, I'm the one walking away. You don't get to be proud of yourself for staying and sorry for yourself and acting like I'm the one wrong for leaving when you're the one that effed up. Just felt like some of these comments might hit home with some people, but I absolutely agree with it. Some people are just too damn good at gaslighting, aren't they? But yeah, I'm just so happy that OP's ex managed to stick with the love of his life in his mother. I do hope that those two have the day they deserve. In fact, maybe the life they deserve, because it really sounds like it's going somewhere. Not sure where, but somewhere, that's for sure. And honestly, congratulations to you, OP, for losing all that dead weight. Thank God you're out of there. Anyway, that is where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.